With your different verticals, we look after a lot of different verticals. We have a lot of hotel. We work with Choice Hotels and in a lot of parts of the world, and they got a massive amount of brands. What when you saw your parents do that and move, and you've been watching your whole life in that space. What can you take from running, a restaurant or a hotel versus health and fitness? Did you see any similarities, or what did you learn the most out of watching your
I mean, it
parents?
doesn't matter what you're selling. At the end of the day, you've got a consumer at the end.
Mm,
And if you don't know what the consumer really wants and you're not listening to that consumer, then you're going to fail or you're not going to be as competitive against the others in the marketplace. It's
mm,
just as simple as that.
yeah,
And so I think ensuring that you continue to have a strong touch point with your consumer is an absolute critical part of understanding where your brand is today, what your competitive kind of differentiation is today, but also
mm.
where the industry's going and where the opportunity is going to be in a couple of years' time, in 5 years' time, and thinking about it from a longer term approach.
That's a hard that looking 5 years ahead. I mean, if you look back, pre and post COVID, I mean, were cold baths even a thing pre COVID? Like, if you look at those trends and that are happening in the health and fitness space, what do you see as the most successful models in the space at the moment?
I mean, but a cold bath's going to be a thing in 5 years' time again, right?
Yeah,
There's always trends. I mean, it
yeah,
doesn't matter what industry it is.
yeah.
Things come and go. Doesn't matter what it is, and I guess the fitness industry is no different. I think at the end of the day, the one solid for us is that the traditional gym space, so your strength, your cardiovascular equipment, to an extent, your functional training area, they're pretty stock standard. They're not
Mm,
going to change too much. You've still got to get in and lift weights. A bench press is going to be a bench press today as it is
yeah,
in probably 20 years' time. So I don't think that's too much for concern. It's probably that 5 to 10% where you need to innovate and think about what's next. And it's not even so much innovation. Sometimes it's just about that 10% you do go with the trends. Once you know it's on point and it's on trend and you're really hearing it from your consumers and you need that competitive advantage or to stay up with the competition, then you need to move in that space. So, for us, we're getting behind a couple of key things at the moment. There's probably been three major changes within our brand. Two that we're pushing pretty significantly. One
mm,
being our recovery spaces across the Snap Fitness
mm,
product.
nice.
Just a standardized look for
Yep,
a recovery space. Not a huge amount of equipment or gear. It's just a small area within our clubs that's dedicated and required now for all our franchisees, whether they're a new club or going through their modernization process with us.
cool.
And then Pilates, Reformer Pilates is a really big focus for it
Mm,
moving forward, and especially now with the virtual content within
yep,
that space.
mm,
Whether you want to come in and do a recovery workout for your core, or you're a golfer and you want a golf workout, the screens that go with the Reformer Pilates beds, we're
mm,
now able to put in one or two beds in a nice area of the gym that doesn't get in too much of the way of the gym generally. But they're
nice.
things that we can place, and
Yep,
whilst it's on trend, great. If in 5 years' time it's not, we can pull them out and put something else in.
smart.
But then same with our group fitness studios, we're obviously, some of the clubs we're doing now, we're putting 10, 12, 14 reformer beds into those spaces. It's on trend. It's really popular today. Is it going to be in 10 years' time? I'm not sure it will be, but it may be. And so, but we're in a good space where that's only 5 to 10% of our business.
Yep,
The rest is fairly set, and we see that long term.
nice. You just sort of touching on earlier how you got into probably breathed a bit too much into that. The going into franchise sales. Obviously, I love sales. It's my favorite thing. One of favorite things. When for me, I guess franchise sales is the most difficult part of sales in franchising. Most pressure to hit the targets, to open new locations, but to do it and also bring on the right franchisees. What do you look for when you're choosing a franchisee? They've submitted the inquiry, gone through your system, and you're meeting them for the first time or chatting. What are those sort of, I guess, red flags? And what are the good things that you look for in a successful that you know will be a successful franchisee?
Yeah, I don't think it's too different for any franchisor out there. At the end of the day, you want someone, first and foremost, that obviously financially in a good position. They have some level of business acumen, but not too much, because we
Mm,
want them to be coachable. We want them to buy into our process and our program and the product. We don't want someone who's too entrepreneurial, who has all these different ideas. We want
mm,
some. We want them to bring ideas to the table for sure. As I
yep,
said earlier, that's where a lot of our opportunity to grow and ideas come from our
mm,
franchisee base. But We want someone that is gonna be dedicated to our brand and product. I think the other piece is, sometimes for us, we don't actually necessarily want franchisees to have 20 plus clubs, right?
Mm,
For us, what works extremely well is for a franchisee to have probably between 3 or 5 very high performing locations
yeah.
within a geography that's not too far for them to go.
So you can actually visit physically.
They can visit physically. Now,
Yeah.
you don't have to be there every day.
Yeah.
You can have another job elsewhere if you really need it or want it,
Mm,
but ultimately, we want a franchisee that this is their thing. They've got 3 to 5 high-performing locations, and if they're making good money out of each of these locations, I mean, that's a great place to be. Um, and so that's really what we look for, someone that's got
mm,
the financial capacity, the mental capacity,
mm.
that probably wants to have a good holding, but not a ridiculous number of clubs.